bloated then, in which case Sunset first pick for Apex is what I would assume. That's just the map that they seem most comfortable on. Could be Icebox, but I would assume Sunset first for them, and I think Haven or Ascent will be... Oh, sorry, not Ascent now, but...
yeah.
Yeah, I said
what the hell is
Sunset.
that
Okay,
about?
cool, we're good. We're on
Chat,
track
hello,
still.
how we doing?
Yeah, I think... You said you would like to see them on Icebox. I don't know if they'll pick it,
Dude,
because I think
where's my
Apex
mic
are
so
very
low?
comfortable on Icebox.
Oh yeah,
Where's
they
my mic
definitely
so
are.
low?
They are one of the best teams in Icebox. But obviously, SweetNsour might gather up that courage in Icebox from
Don't know
that
why it wasn't
previous
working, but it's
matchup.
working now.
Lotus is actually something
Okay.
that they want to go. It's something
can you
that
hear
we
me?
kind of overlooked maybe because we wanted.
Well, 'cause I
we
thought
were
Apex
expecting
were
a
gonna ban
ban.
it,
Yeah, but I think Lotus is definitely a solid map for SweetNsour.
Icebox
I think
is
it's
next.
one
Yeah,
of their
tell me
best
someone can
maps.
hear him.
Oh,
They've
Haven.
changed up their preferences here for sure. Haven was, I would say that was their like third most likely pick here. So I think Icebox will be the pick.
Can
for,
you hear me?
Sweet
Okay,
and Sour
then we're
here,
good.
and then what is
Dude,
remaining?
not sure why it
Abyss,
wasn't working.
right?
Yeah, I do think Abyss is going to be the decider. It's
We
something
are.
that SweetNsour probably wouldn't want to go against.
Sunset,
Apex.
Lotus,
They
Haven.
don't know all of the strats yet because they've
In
only
Abyss at
seen
the end.
one
So
map of
chat,
that. So I
long
do
story
heavily
short
think
is
Icebox
I
gonna
kind
be
of
this
have
one.
time for these
Oh,
two
it's
maps.
picked.
So that's
Okay.
it. I got
Alright.
flat chat here.
Forget
We'll
whatever I
raid the
said.
mainstream.
Damn. Okay, I'm actually
Icebox
surprised.
last.
I'm really
So
surprised.
yeah, all of the good
Haven-
maps I missed.
Yeah, it is really
Essentially.
solid for Apex. I think it heavily relies on reading your enemy, putting that pressure in the enemy's sides, and like we saw against OnlyFins,
Even if they are 13-0,
Apex were
yeah, I've
able
got
to dominate the
I've got to be
whole
out
map.
by
OnlyFins were
before
kinda
in like an
scared.
hour
They have
45.
to do some depression plays, and I think that's something that Apex will definitely rely on, especially when it's the third map. If they can take out these first two maps, I think Haven is gonna be something that they might be able to dominate with just pure individual
Artist wants to, bro.
power
Artist is
and
gonna be
combining that with
flaming,
the team
surely.
cohesion.
What, he wants to
I
watch
think
this?
it's gonna be a struggle. If something, SweetNsour, they are really strong in Lotus. So is Apex, but I do think SweetNsour have a really.
Are you talking about champs?
Yeah, that's why I would have assumed that they'd banned it just to be
Bro,
safe.
that guy doesn't
because,
get normal
Sweet and Sour
watch
are
party
very
rights. There's no
comfortable,
chance he's
Lotus.
getting on
They
here.
pulled off some really, really good results on Lotus. Whenever they go into overtime on Lotus, it seems like they win it. So yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but here we are.
Are we
I'm
expecting
gonna
a
give myself
3-0?
70% of passing
I reckon they
grade
got a
on
map
that,
in them.
on that
I reckon it's a
map
3-1. I reckon they got a map
I'm
in
just
them.
rejigging my
There could be a
notes
good
now
chance
to
it's
see
3-0.
what's going to be picked. So Sunset, we know kind of the agents that we're going to be seeing from here. It's for Apex, it's going to be that Gecko. It's going to be the KO as the double
yeah, they used
initiator.
they used the
They're not gonna play
OP
Duelist on
comp.
this one.
This
Kayak
is
loves to
my
play that
comp,
Gecko.
man.
And get in with the operator
comp.
on that agent. Sweet and Sour. It seems like they've changed something up
This
here.
is
Yeah,
the
that
comp
is
on the map.
a
If anyone asks me for my
breach
best
instead
comp,
of
this is the
a
comp. It is the
Gecko.
old
Gecko.
school.
Yeah, they're kind of falling back on this
old
breach
school
composition.
Paper
They
X.
used to run almost the same composition with breach, but
Your
instead of
comp-
KO,
I mean,
they
it's
had
Paper X's
Sova, so
comp,
they kind of
but
went in between that.
it's been my
They picked
favorite
up the breach
for almost
instead
a year
of
now.
that Sova or
of
instead of
flashing
that
power.
Gecko. Yeah, a lot of stunning power as well in terms of FamSam and Taisi playing
Yeah, I'm
together.
surprised
I
no
think
one
that's
uses
gonna
this
be
as much
really
as,
amazing
as
to
much
see.
as they
You
use
have
it.
to try to pick
Bro, they're
up
100%
hype
map win.
lurking around.
No one else
because
steals it.
Apex is one of the best teams that can lurk really well. You have strong individuals. You can put almost anyone
100%
lurking
map
around
win
and
when
they
they're
can
leaving it
find
in, bro.
multiple
They got
picks.
the-
can
they got
find
the
a
double
lot of
map
pressure.
ban.
So I think that's something
Apex
that
got the
SweetNsour might want
double
to
map
target
ban.
with the breach and race.
Well, you saw that stat there on the bottom left of your screen. Apex have not lost an attacking round on this map, so Sweet and Sour starting on attack are going to
That's
have
the
to do
5,
something
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
special
yeah.
to get started. I mean, this is going to be an amazing game no matter what. It's going to be an
Is
amazing
this for
series.
Ascension?
Strap in,
Yeah,
guys.
final.
It's timing out for Ryan and Pablo.
Winners take Ascension, losers get the play-ins.
Yes, it is.
Iris
It's
as
time
well.
for the
Thank you so
grand
much,
finals of
Iris
Challengers
with
North
the 18 months. Appreciate you,
2024.
dude.
And just
Thank
like
you, thank
every
you.
year, our teams enter the server to decide which are our strongest representatives of this region. And this is no different. Two now only remain to stand with a chance of making it into Ascension. Ryan, it's Apex and Sweet and Sour.
Yeah, and it's Apex. We've seen them in this position before. They
Why
won
do I only
last
watch
year to get
Polaris?
to
They're the only ones that
Ascension,
gave
and
me
we're
watch
only
Pirates.
one map away, realistically, to qualifying for Tier 1.
Plus, there's a lot of stuff
Here,
going on.
They've rebuilt with
But
some
that's
familiar
the-
faces from the
that's
Tier
the
1
TLDR.
scene, and they play up against a team that had never really got experience in Tier 2 other than this play. The IGL of Heartbeat, everybody else for Sweet and Sour. They're very nascent, they're very new, but they've done some damage, and they're hoping to do a hell of a lot more today.
Whether you're new, whether you're old, whether you're tenured, or whether you're a rookie, what is certain to say about this series is that both teams are on peak form, their best possible performance, and we wouldn't have it any other
Right,
way
Apex on
for a
defense.
grand final like this.
Being Sour on attack.
These teams
So
didn't
to give
even
them a good
face up
start.
against each
They need a
other
good
in
start.
playoffs.
Especially on this map.
Last time that they played up against
They're
each
gonna
other,
get wrecked
Apex
maybe
suffered
on this
their
map, we'll
first and
see.
only loss so far this year in Polaris. SweetNsour beating them 2-0. Not really too many of the same maps here. SweetNsour attacking first, changing up their comp, fighting for mid control early. And one of the top performers on this map for Apex isn't actually
Yeah, and we'll
Kayak.
keep an eye on the
It's
wall
Hype
here
on
because
this
they can
Viper.
definitely just leave B
You've
and
gotta
just
look
play full
after
retake.
Or look
Oh,
away
I like
from
this.
a lot of these players, but it's nice to get very aggressive early. Hype is able to read it. but
Yeah,
that
I still
paranoia
like the
will keep
idea
him
to
at
go
bay
aggro over
as the
towards
rest of
heaven.
Sweet and Sour move into
You know
the
they're
speed
gonna
side. Apex
try
have quickly
all up.
circumnavigated though. They're bunched up together, but Sweet and Sour seem to
this
know
is
the
sick
deal
from them,
and go
yeah. They have a
right
good
after
idea.
the fight.
They're
They've got
obviously
the numbers.
pistol, the
But
walls are
Evolver
OP,
wants
so
to
they've got to take some
stabilise
map
by getting
control.
a
They've
kill
got to duel them.
himself. Hype is able to find another onto site to try and split the attention, but it's down to Evolver, and this guy is 1 in 3 when it comes to his
Psych.
clutch percentage.
How we doing? How we doing?
So if there's
Oh,
anyone
I
you
didn't
want
put on the
clutch,
new bot
it's
though
got
yet.
to be
Psych.
Evolver. Smoke down onto the spike. It's a 1v2 and not an easy one, especially when Sweet and Sour bunching up together. Evolver
my
off
God.
the spike and
Oh, nearly
Heartbeat
missed
finds
him. Again,
the
nice
shot
though.
to the heart.
Like,
and
their
Sweet and
plan
Sour
against
win
this was
first round
perfect.
of the grand final.
I realized early on that they got to take
One of
map
the most
control, so
common
they
maps
did.
Apex has not only played but picked. They're 11-0 on Sunset. They've lost a couple of pistols here or there, so
And I
this
watch
isn't
party any
too
match now. It
scary
doesn't
for
work
them.
like that. You got to get right
But an
fast.
example of what Sweet and Sour has been bringing to the table throughout. Here it's actually the first death, but the smart thinking of Sweet and Sour to just full contact walk their way up to Boban, sort of knowing that Apex were going to sit back, try and play for a clean retake. Sweet and Sour, they don't want a clean game. They don't want a clean map.
I'm there on Monday. We did.
And do you think that's why they went for the breach?
holding
pick,
on.
Right? Kind of force the ideas and force the plays go up in Apex's
Surely,
faces, perhaps?
surely I get to see
It's
your
a
game.
weird comp. Like,
Second game Monday.
Playing Breach, playing KO, it's a bit of a sort of freedom of choice more than anything. But both together, no Silver, no Gecko. You're lacking a lot of
Make
information.
sure you beat
but
Oxygen, yeah.
Sweet and Sour are just hoping to play with his pace. A lot of damage from Apex has been
Right,
done.
I heard the coach isn't that good. You're fine.
The wraparound Hype trying to condition Sweet and Sour early that he is going to try and flank them, that they need to keep an eye on their ears a bit.
And that's exactly what Tempo's after. A little bit too wide of a swing, but Hype is looking in the wrong direction, so it's
What the
quite
hell is that
cleanly
crosshair?
picked up. Nice shot by Multi. I think only spotted Dicey's gun across the smoke, but Sweet and Sour are able to collect it. A little bit laboured, more than they would have liked at least.
You can sort of see the general idea of what Sweet and Sour are hoping to do. And the Outlaw on attack, not too uncommon for Sweet and Sour, but it's more who usually has it. It's Dicey. That, you know, Sweet and Sour's, you know, a very favoured, like, Chinese food order. And I think the attacking up is very, like, China Valorant inspired, I suppose. So it's,
Okay,
it's like a home away from home, but they make it
Sure.
work. Dicey's got the
I mean,
Outlaw in
honestly,
hand
they do
now
use
as
it a
they're
lot.
on the bonus.
Outlaw at the moment can't hit anyone, but
It's
it
only
doesn't
the
mean they
start
got a
of the
double
grand
Guardian.
final,
There's the
Ryan, and
pressure
you're
of
already
having
making
it.
us hungry.
Default mids, we
You've been
got
hungry for some good old
double
Valorant.
Sheriff on the bonus. This is a
Be the
decent
most competitive
bonus.
match we've seen. I'd love
This
that to be the
crosshair
case.
is not the one, surely.
Store 5 maps.
I would love to know the
Teams
full
are on
process
their
behind
best
it.
form still. Sweet and Sour, they've got a little bit of a
Let's
buy
hope a
in
bit
them.
for spraying,
What
maybe.
Apex are doing, they're keeping themselves at the distance between themselves and their opponents. What is that crosshair? by
Robot, I'm
Multi,
good.
by
How
the
you
way?
doing?
It's
Yeah,
massive.
they only just noticed it now. Oh boy.
Kind of the moments that Sweet and Sour hoping for. It's almost
we push
contradicting
into
to the
that
fact they're running,
angle
right? Just full contact
with
when you've got all of
nothing?
these flashes, all of these bits of information. Yeoman being caught by the KO knife is actually given Apex permission to
nice,
go in
though.
and fight this.
Damn.
They've somehow
Not sure if
turned
they need
this
to keep
around.
pushing, but they do it
And
anyway.
they
They're going
have
to get full
done it
info.
on 2 different fronts as well as Hype. Get some damage done over on B. And even though Sweet and Sour did
In
open
the
things
M18
up
match
early
tonight?
with,
Nah. So I got
Multi's
flat shot
demise,
in 2 hours,
seems
and
to be
then I need to go
quickly
gym at
under
one
the
point.
control of
I
Apex.
need to actually
And
live
the
my life
crossfire
outside of
setup,
Valorant.
It's hard to imagine that Heartbeat
haven't
has
gone
got
gym in, like,
anything
well,
else
I
in
went
store.
gym
He does
once
find
in
a
3
dink,
weeks.
some extra
Not
damage
good.
there, but it's Apex's way on the board.
The read was pretty much stellar from Apex. So many other teams, you see Tice either raise over towards B main and you over-rotate. Maybe Sweet and Sour could
chat
have just
YouTube.
waited a little bit longer before they KO knifed and shut themselves on A. Really let the lack of information for Apex
Aaron, sorry to hear
really
that.
sit,
Hopefully,
make them make
hopefully
mistakes.
everyone's
But there's
gonna
no
look
way
up
in hell
from
that
now.
Sweet and Sour were expecting the 2 players to peak them, especially after the Omen gets KO knifed there. Good
It comes
proactivity
tomorrow.
from
It's
Apex,
not
and
even in
it
game for me
could
yet.
have
When does
easily
that come
saved
out?
around for them.
Sweet and Sour, slow and steady for now.
27th, I thought they said today.
But they do have the composition that allows quick explosivity wherever they choose to go. The stun sort of alluded to the idea of pushing through elbow, but that doesn't happen. Held at bay by APEKS's resistance. Dizzy comes out and it's opportunity for Kang to get through a bit shaky, but it's SweetNsour that win the trade. Soka tries to move in as well, but it's
Dude,
not
tell
APEKS to
me.
get the kills. It's
Tell me the pressure
SweetNsour.
doesn't
They've
get
got
to them.
a clear A site to move into.
APEKS using a lot of utility to hold them
That
back.
flash was incredible,
SweetNsour just
but
holding the line, used the breach stun, very similar to what DRX have been doing
that's a
lot
bit
on
of a
this map,
nightmare for
trying
them.
to push towards. Like tiles, stunning across A main. And even now, not rushing onto the site, but it has allowed APEKS to actually wrap in around this position. There's no cipher trip here, so they can just walk up.
They can. And in the meantime, SweetNsour just waiting to see if that A site is clear, which could leave Ticey to be isolated. Doesn't even matter. He wins this duel. Thinks better of going in alone for the second. As Malsey holds back. And a 1v4 scenario. Very difficult to imagine that he'll be going for this.
Yeah, I think
Try
saving
and
makes
save,
sense there.
or maybe deny any
V2,
saves
this guy
on
needs a
the
drop.
opposing side, but no, drops further back. But yeah,
Especially all he has to do is rebuy slows.
I mean, it always tends to work. It's either somebody like
Why is
Shadow.
Plat Chat starting so late today? I just
Shadow's
schedule
got
for
the
everyone, I
best
imagine.
It's always someone in Apex, isn't it? It's always someone in Apex. And
It's
someone in
working.
Apex right now is doing amazing stuff.
Interesting one for him. Second ever grand finale, best of 5 as an IGL. One interesting thing.
Dude,
that I saw,
I'm worried for
actually,
that. Dude, after that round, I'm
was,
well worried for them.
Along the lines of Soulcast.
Those
It's
duels over
approaching
towards A
around
were
4 years
not
since he signed
convincing.
Team Liquid. Pretty much a year today. 4 years ago
When
today.
you buy a Guardian, it
Fish
goes
123
wrong.
played their last series as a team called Fish 123. And it was
Wow.
against Malsey.
No way!
Damn.
There's a
No
lot of teams
way!
that have been like grinding throughout. Like a lot of these faces from SweetNsour, a lot of the names especially, you might not necessarily recognize.
Yeah.
One player that's been grinding an awful long time has been Halfbeat, who
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah,
second
he's been in
series
a
he
lot
ever
of
played
teams.
was up against Hype when he was on Rick's GG.
Wow. It's a small world. It really is a small world. Shout out to everybody that knows all of these teams. Rick GG, Fish 123, staple of the Northern European region,
F's
really.
in chat for all of them, it feels like.
F's in
Wait.
chat for all of them. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, true.
Hey, but we evolve, we grow. A buy round for both teams, though. And SweetNsour move into the west side of the map. Snakebite to delay, perhaps, but Ticey's been able to circumnavigate it, jump above it. While there's a lurk in the making by Famzam.
On Breach.
Charo Chibe, how we doing with the Prime? Thank you for the 7 months. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for the third losser as well. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the 17 months. This lock is the one.
Stop this ultimate from
Oh
going.
god.
And there might be a bad timing
Oh
here.
god.
Well, Famzam will
Honestly,
not
could have
drop the
been
ball here.
way
Kayak
worse than that.
Does swing past to trade off his teammate's life, but this is a great hold for any team on this B site. If you've already gotten the spike down and you've got more players than your opponents, you can just spray in the general spike's direction.
Oh
Thrash
god,
thrown
and
in.
he's the
It doesn't
official
mean
and got
anything though,
nothing.
as Ticey's the one to collect the kill onto Soulcast. Little by little, the
They're
Apex
good on
players
this half.
get
We're
shut
looking,
down, and there's nothing,
we're
not
looking for a
even the
7-8
start
on
of
attack at the
Kayak
moment.
can do
Not too
about
bad.
this, as SweetNsour increase that lead.
It's going to be an interesting environment for them. Wasn't a best of
Tom
five
as
that
well,
they
Tom
played
Powell,
yesterday in the
17 months.
losers
Thank you so
bracket.
much, Tom.
So again, they're wanting to get
Appreciate
experience
the
on
prime.
playing
Thank you
series
for
that
that.
can go that long. A team that just sort of kept it simple. Breach Lurk was definitely like the icing on the cake. Kayak doing a little bit more damage, but just
Bad chat
it
in
really
an hour
does feel like
45.
SweetNsour are getting
Hello,
so in
Fru,
the
how we
face. They
doing?
know that they can take the site on B. They know that Apex are going to be playing more retake because of this Viper and this Viper wall. But SweetNsour are just not allowing it.
They've been doing a brilliant job at controlling Apex so far. Ticey knowing he can just walk in. This should be a simple round, though. Apex will use the power of friendship, the power of numbers, grouping up together. Ticey thinks better of the situation. He does
They
get
got
chunked down.
wolves,
They
they
do
got
have
to fight a
some
little bit on
guarantees
site.
with ults.
Oh, this is actually looking
But if they're not too careful, Apex might be able to make a dent into this
really
round.
bad,
Oh dear.
yeah.
Oh, it's all going wrong.
More than a
And
day.
Like three of them were already off site. 2 of them got left on site.
Cracking skulls, and Creamy and Tempo here to see if they can salvage the day.
One had to run back through to save them.
Juggle the attention towards the right-hand side and the front. The wall will allow Kayak to get that spike defused.
Let's see if it crumbles up.
And a thrifty round for APEKS to get them right back in the fight.
That 7-8 that I was talking about.
Exactly why
Maybe not
SweetNsour was so aggressive towards Boba every time they've gone B, because sitting back, it just
it was like they knew that they had to fight site, or some of them did, and then everyone else went over towards B main, and they were half and half.
Fruit was up. Kayak, not even on a duelist, you just click heads like that. And there's not been many ecos for APEKS across this year, but a lot of them have actually been won by them.
Sure.
Especially with moments like that.
Yeah, I know, I forgot, bro.
APEKS is just this type of team that if they get in trouble, they've got ways to get out of trouble.
It should be here by champs.
Eco round wins. That's a major reason why they're so scary.
And if they can do that in the big games, you almost feel like you're feeling very confident about making Ascension and maybe doing some damage there too.
I hope so. But for SweetNsour,
yeah, money's low on this one, so it's a giant round.
Be the ones
we send one in towards
Northern
Mark
Europe
and we
on
go
top for
back.
now.
What on
Ticey
earth is that
finding his
KO
way on the
flash?
back line, and so has Creamy down in mid.
How is this guy blind?
Not too bad. They've basically smashed him brute force through APEKS's defenses and come out on top.
I mean, it's solid, isn't it? The Ticey could just be.
This was a nice round from them, though. I would have to watch this one back. I don't understand how this guy's blind. Did they flash through the window?
KO ultimate, pushing top mid, fighting on the A site. Multi yet again forced to
mid open, bro. They even do like a wall to let them have it for sure. Like what? You want to pop burst on us? Sure. Is double block of info.
Shout out to his 1v5 clutch he had in the upper finals.
I mean, it completely broke Requiem.
It did.
That was a map and a series overall where it was a dominant scoreline for APEKS, but it didn't really feel like it. And that's kind of the only concern I really have for SweetNsour. Like, they could be 6-2 up, 7-2, but if APEKS just have a gold round
of
from
the money.
any of their players
this is a big round for sure for everyone.
Are SweetNsour going to start to shrink? Are they starting to panic? Are they not going to be
all they have to do is deal with this. A dropped gun.
You want to
APEKS 3 guns.
But you don't want to over-affect them.
You're right. But I do find a difference to SweetNsour and Requiem. SweetNsour have been here before, right? They've been in the grand finals. They've played a first split. They've had a double the amount of games Requiem have had at this level.
Now, no idea how this guy's
Requiem are a capable team, but they're young and experienced.
Did he team flash or something? And there was an assist because of the KO.
But that experience, having played those matches before, can make a lot of difference.
Okay, they're going to where the hop is. Molzy keeps this one. We've got a flash to set him up.
Do well across the tournament. You're looking at Gen G, for example.
Yeah.
I've hit
Reps
3.
is everything, and that's what half
4 people on site.
It's a cheat code to just play as often
Alonso Lele, thank you for
APEKS
31 months, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for doing that.
Nope, they haven't dropped to the lower bracket, so they've played the least amount of matches in playoffs. So far, 1-for-1 in trades as the Rolling Thunder is thrown out, catching a couple of players have overstuck at the back of side of the Paranoia. Is good enough to get him a new position, but not to get him out alive. Multi, if he pulled the trigger there, he wouldn't have gotten a kill. Instead, he's the one to drop, and APEKS are falling further and further behind. They weren't meant to win this round.
They
were on a
call it
smaller
timeout.
buy,
Why
but this lead increasing by SweetNsour is starting to create some nerves in the defensive side of APEKS.
They're just not laying up. They're at a 4v2 and they're still flashing to try and take that space. Like, they are not giving APEKS an in at all. And you'd have to expect that at some point APEKS need to take a timeout, because you could tell their overall plan. Just be passive, play retake. You're not even allowed to do that.
The masterclass calling, yeah, the calling's been good.
Which hasn't really happened.
I feel like
okay, we need to
at the moment they get so much space, and when there's 4 people here to fight, they're not even like proper fighting.
I think APEKS throughout this entire year haven't really.
But I think when this guy goes down and they've lost sight,
so great at timing
not
them
just
and having the right
push
moments
here
for them to be impactful.
Numbers.
I feel like Danito has had more of that I trust you approach with his team to call it when he thinks they need him. Obviously, I'm reading from the sidelines as just an observer.
What happens to the winner? They go to Ascension.
But we're definitely seeing a less frequency in the timeouts on the APEKS's camp.
I mean, so far it's because there's not really been a need. And I think the only timeouts that they've really had is almost that APEKS have just had hubris. Here it is now. And this just probably feels like the most...
NA challenges? Yeah, I start on Monday.
Timeout. Like, a lot of the times at APEKS, when they're losing, it tends to be off their own, like... hubris, that they're being over aggressive, that they're being a little bit sloppy in how they're taking fights. Here it's just they're not able to play the game, which is crazy to say about APEKS because they've been the one making everybody else's lives miserable through the group stages. Teams haven't been able to play up against them because you've got Malsey 1v5 in, you've got 13-2, 13-3
Fami's out of it.
Here it's like, okay, how do we actually adjust through this nicely?
Yeah, there's not much being said for APEKS. Soulcast taking up the mic here, trying to bring his team back. VCT EMEA winner, by the way, if anyone has lived under a rock. Soulcast being in Challengers North doesn't feel real.
It's also like Ultimates too. The Kayak is 11-6 despite not really winning many rounds other than the bonus.
Yeah, what's the actual change up?
There's a Resurrect.
Fighting over towards B, it makes a lot of sense because how does this comp even get over towards B main? They're going to have to use like a KO flash and then, I mean, they have to like brute force through this, right? It's either a boom bot or it's a camera to get an info, so this setup makes a lot of sense. Smoke goes over towards middle, we have wall on top, this is the APEKS.
Oh, Malsey, he's in trouble. Can he get away? He can. Soulcast is there to save his life. That's Soulcast's first kill in this game. Can he find any more? Malsey tries to reconfigure, and he has done so. Hype on the other end. As SweetNsour take fights everywhere.
Lovely. Who wants it? Yeah, someone with their ult.
Anywhere.
Okay, I mean, this was much better. Just the overall actual plan of the wall makes more sense. Just making the util over towards B, you're going to hear him, so you actually get info of them get taken over towards B. And then middle. We tried to do the wall over.
I think so much of this,
and then at least Soulcast was here to protect him.
Pressure's gone on to Malsey. If he has the operator, he's a guy that has duelist experience, despite being in IGL and playing more of a
they can just do this setup every time.
Last year.
And now they're actually going to put numbers behind this, stop him from getting B main.
Good old Oglu, he was playing a little bit of duelist hero there. So the op is not unknown to him. And when he has the resurrect, yeah, he's going to be sitting back a bit more. He can't die first.
Yeah. That's the boom bot to clear here.
Let's see if
and as you can see, no one's taking control. They think this is clear, but this guy's got full info.
Guaranteed they be equal.
You can just hold this the whole time. Heavier stack. Got 3 people ready to fight middle. You should go 1-1-3. Pretty strong.
That's an early peak. That
really boy, that is not what you want to see.
Yeah, knife gets broken as well, so it doesn't give up how many people are actually playing for mid in SweetNsour.
Yes, they passively left over towards B and put the wall up to try and rotate more. Well, they needed to do it, but it at least means that they can heavier fight over towards middle.
SweetNsour, all they need to do is break this wall, get in on site, and I can't imagine anybody from APEKS.
Sully EG, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the 3 months. Thank you, dude. Is the winner of this make it to EMEA Ascension? Yes.
You do see that, but both Soulcast and Malsey are fairly close to this, and Hyper's looked to join in as well. The flash isn't good enough. Hype somehow secures the kill. So Tempo puts up quite closely. It's anticipated by Hype, but the trades are there. APEKS keeping superiority in numbers, and he wants to keep it going. Mighty fine shot through the smoke by Tempo. Wants to take charge, and he might be lining players up. 3 kills to his name, but Heartbeat on the clutch. The captain tries to breathe it off.
He's got his ult, he can leave if he wants.
Yeah,
but it's got to be quick because there's not much time on that clock. 10 seconds. You can see how APEKS are trying to get there quickly.
No wingman.
Well,
actually very doable.
He could be positioned anywhere, but he's been closed down so quickly. There's not many options left.
Oh, he's wrapping around, trying to see if he can catch them off one by one. Vover finds himself onto his screen, but not quite accurate. And the bullets through the box will do it.
Again, the setup has been a lot
gain
better.
Their round, and I think the first time they've been able to chain a couple rounds
together. Needs to make sure they puts the knife away when he's like first contact.
I was worried that APEKS were just going to be like, hold on guys, let's make sure we get all our utility together. But they were not afraid to fight, and SweetNsour have kind of shown that they're going to be overly aggressive, so maybe even APEKS for a second.
I'd be down for these other guys actually doing a timeout though. They're still getting free mid control, they can just burst heavier still.
Like they have 2 flashing agents. They've still just been pushing and peeking out of smokes. Which is probably
one of the MAT oxygen. Nah, I haven't really had time to watch any of America's.
Playing like this in scrims, and you go, you wouldn't do that in an official. SweetNsour would, and they make it work, which just tends to really annoy teams even more.
It's interesting to see that APEKS have already adapted, though, to how SweetNsour have played out. They were ready to fight. They were like, if you're going to fight us in our spawn, we'll be ready for it. So good signs that APEKS are here to parley.
The same again, right? Just walking out into angles, just assuming that you can just win out the fight.
No
The
way.
operator's very good at those, but Tempo just managed to sneak through. He can pick up the operator if he wants. The Tolcast isn't going to allow
say, imagine he gets another one here.
Kayak won't either, finding an
Big
alternative
1v1
angle
for
out
Vova.
in mid, but careful, Vova's gone fairly far forwards out in
He's
A.
just one of his life.
Heartbeat didn't have a clue.
Yeah, and this
Spike
setup
drops
just makes
thump
way
into
more
the
sense.
ground,
They should have
that's
been doing
heard.
this from the beginning. This makes it so hard for them to get over towards B main.
We've lost players everywhere along this map.
In any games tomorrow? Nah, I think I'm actually just kind of the weekend off.
Only with a stinger though. Might as well slap him across the face, it'd do more damage.
APEKS are playing the spread out game. Vova's just there to give out the information, acting like a tripwire. Well, imagine if he spots out anyone, or just drop back to play the numbers game with his team. Mid is approached. Kayak, the one to be contested all the time. He allows them to cross. Wingman does stamp them up. Ticey finds a free kill.
Everyone from APEKS needs to relax with the util, man. Keep the guns up.
Soulcast, he's together hand in hand with Hype, and it's the perfect place to shut them on the cross. And that's exactly what happens as APEKS collect the round and close the gap.
A little bit of damage
Foul
done,
gaming
tomorrow?
Nah, I don't think so. Maybe on Sunday, Saint.
You've got to worry a little bit about SweetNsour's comp on the defense when you're lacking a Silver, a Gecko, Fade, just any hard information for the most part. Just rush down. And you can sort of see more like of Pisces and SweetNsour. Just
why he wants more content for
one at a time. But APEKS knowing to sort of play together.
Is that the Shroud one, Saint? Actually looked alright.
Double up now on this defense. Or at least one saved for Kayak over on that A site.
Sure.
Jack Val, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the prime. Thank you. Appreciate the 9 months. By supporting any teams in Ascension. I mean, I would like Dom to do well, but I think he's already done good enough that he'll get some tier 1 trials no matter what anyway. I don't really care, man. Like, again, I would rather just the best team wins. I don't really support teams. I would rather the hard work pays off for whoever wins.
So much of this has just been APEKS holding on to A. It's not really been contested an awful lot. When you have a breach and a KO flash for SweetNsour, you really want to be putting the onus on that spot. But when you're running into either a Vova, who's had an absurdly good year as a controller player, back to inform, and then Kayak, who needs no introduction.
No way!
No way!
Still?
Ow!
No way he grabs the kill! Hype, though, has found himself into the back line of SweetNsour.
He's had his res forever.
It by himself. Heartbeat is left alone at the front lines.
Okay, they only got 6 in the end. I mean, this was still a very good recovery from APEKS.
No more teammates on the intercom.
It was actually looking like it should be a 7-5. I mean, 8-4.
Oh, the only ones that can bring out magic like that.
Am I doing my pick'ems? Yeah, dude, whenever they put it in game, I'm going to do my pick'ems.
What seemed to be a terrific beginning to the game by SweetNsour has all been brought to naught by their opponents.
Was I the only one that saw that then? Giving me profit vibes. We're going back in totally different ground there. But that's kind of what SweetNsour do. They get.
Wait, is that what a Vova did?
And the timeout has pretty much put APEKS back into a stellar position. Yeah, SweetNsour now here, you don't have like a recon dat that can get you good information. So much pressure goes on to this like KO knife on what's going on. But if you're APEKS,
said it's out, yeah, but someone in chat is always
those mid rounds. You don't care if the KO knife hits you and gets loads of information at the start, but between the first KO knife being used and the second, that's where you can get a lot of work done on this attacking side.
Give me a good pistol that isn't just a B hit. Okay, late wall over towards A. Fusion block on one side.
Take pressure out in B while APEKS looks to move in on mid. There is one tripwire that could be damaging for them, but no, they're able to find it and break it. Tempo out into the open. That's a bit of a mistake. Creamy, though, will try and create some pressure that his teammate can use
my guy doing B main?
Walk in as well, but he's just doing all the damage by himself. APEKS, it's not impossible if they find a couple of kills here, and Hype has definitely found an opening, but Famzam is also being a menace out in mid, which APEKS need to balance their attention towards.
what a shot,
in the
bro.
middle.
Clean.
Yeah, that was a lovely shot in the end. Dude, I was a little bit worried when they had no pressure up towards B main. They raised it pretty good.
APEKS giving SweetNsour a bit of a taste of their own medicine there. You see moments like Famzam, he flashes, he aftershocks, and then still peeks outward. APEKS are just super aware of it now. Of just, if you see a player, even if they're on their own, don't assume that they're going to just completely back off. They're going to try and get a timing on you here. The stun that comes across for SweetNsour, though, as we saw APEKS trying to push out of market onto the B site, really caused a lot of chaos, but still there, and it felt like damage was done.
Malzy and Shadow friends just comparing the worst ever crosshairs.
Too late, right? You got 3 players running in onto the site.
That was a close round as well. SweetNsour had such a great start. Well, that's what we said makes APEKS special. They're able to bring things back.
Pick'ems is there now. That's cool. I'll do it after Platcha.
Imagine to. Slow and steady approach for them for now. And polarized defensives here for SweetNsour.
Yeah, Hype just doing what Viper does best. Pressure on A main is going to get cleared out, and it is just a ghost in hand for Hype. So him going down isn't really too much gun-wise to give away, but that Viper wall...
3 people, maybe they can do a little bit of damage.
For these executes. Sage roll is going to help out a lot too.
Oh, is this what they go for?
Oh, that spray. That was a nut spray. They knew there was a gap through the wall there, and someone from SweetNsour would like to push through. So it does put tempo into the ground. And given that APEKS have got firepower superiority here, it's hard to imagine SweetNsour can do anything about it. There could be a well-placed paranoia that could permit SweetNsour's cross,
did he just not get hit by the Omen Flash? Bit to the right, maybe?
From APEKS, that will prevail. And albeit
I like the idea, though,
efforts,
like the push behind with the Omen Flash should have maybe got him a little bit more.
APEKS find a 2-round buffer.
It's been good damage, but that's all you can really say. Past 6 rounds in a row of being
Sage.
APEKS.
I mean, Sage just is incredibly good in this meta at the moment.
Too many adjustments when it has looked bad for them. And even though you can look at the series scoreline or even like the map scoreline, a lot of 2-0s, a lot of like 13-2s, even a 13-0 against Formulation right at the start of this year.
Sure.
But there have been a couple of maps where APEKS have been taken to overtime against the likes of Hukas, I think was one of them, which was a big surprise.
It was, wasn't it? Some players.
Damn, bonus round with fast send it middle.
More than others. And I guess it caught APEKS off guard. Still. The Kayak.
Oh, this is nice. They wall
giving SweetNsour a taste of their own medicine.
Get the kill here. And then
Surprising
they go
with his
isolate the guy on A.
Overstepping
this guy
his
has to
welcome
actually
and
get
going
2.
on lone journeys. Heartbeat, instead of dropping back, goes aggressive.
3 HP?
Tries
3
to get a spray down kill there. This is a bonus round here for APEKS. If SweetNsour loses, they'll be in big trouble. So you can see Creamy trying to salvage the ordeal, but he's done so alone, which is a gruesome mistake. This is a sick run from APEKS, though. Famzam now is the one in trouble. That looks to be patient for tempo to move into that back line, but nothing of the sort is happening on Evova's watch. Famzam, he'll try all he can,
cool,
but again, it's APEKS to keep the streak going on attack.
Gonna run away with it.
Yeah, Vova's been stellar. Really enjoyed watching him play. When you're out of the Cypher watching your flank, just having somebody that's going to be that aware, that's also lurking. He just seems to be in every position, trying to make sure it's as tidy as ever. And SweetNsour, you might have thought that...
Dude, what do you even say on this timeout?
Earlier at this rate,
you haven't seen too much go down.
You gotta bear in mind that they don't technically have a coach necessarily. You got Affen there that's in the spot, but Affen was on this team.
The solo peak from market, I guess. But...
Fortunately, he wasn't able to dedicate full time for other reasons, so they brought in Halfbeat, who also has experience of playing in playoffs for Polaris because he was there with Metasport in stage 1. It's an extra pair of eyes, but it's I don't think this is necessarily like the read or the comp or anything like that. I think this is just APEKS adjusting well to the pressure, and SweetNsour not really having an answer.
And it's not like Halfbeat doesn't have
I don't think so, Saint.
Making finals
Where did you send it?
Leagues. Yeah, that was in the Italian Challenger League, but still, very useful experience. And like you said, Affen, it's not like he's got coach on his CV. He's a player, but there to lend an extra pair of eyes, an extra perspective. Let's see if it works out. It seemed to be pretty good for SweetNsour against Requiem
the golden 5
the other day, yesterday, in the lower bracket.
I think it was mostly to just breathe and rethink how they're approaching some situations.
Honestly, maybe the deadlock. I mean, I don't think the deadlock would look as good as the Sage, but I still think it would do similar kind of playstyle.
News again. Got to be on these angles constantly, which means APEKS get pretty easy fights sometimes.
Aussie just feeling comfortable to just open up the map for his team. Crouch peeking, front lining. He's basically a tank, and he's got the artillery. He's got all the rest of the soldiers behind him lined up.
Unlucky, man.
Sort of leading the way and providing cover.
I like the idea with the KO flash, though.
But it hasn't been without the trade. SweetNsour seem to have a gist of what's going on and have grouped up extensively. But the Sheriffs aren't a good enough weapon to deal with this scenario. And Tempo's left to his own devices.
Spike planted.
Not really around that he expected SweetNsour to do that much damage on. It's just been unrelenting. Maybe one death here or there for APEKS on these rounds. Flawless attacking side, and historically on this map, both sides have been incredibly strong for APEKS. You're literally like 73% win rate. They more often than not win house on either side 9-3. Consistently. It's crazy. And the defensive side for SweetNsour.
Okay, I mean, this is. I'm not saying this is fully it, but if they don't win this, they're in trouble.
Change in comp.
We've got to go up against Fischl, one away here, one away from Sage. Oh, man.
Damage for SweetNsour. Now you're on your defense.
Well, at least they're ready for a trap play-ish.
I mean, did some early damage.
We waiting for knife and then go close.
React on time and sort of adjust. And that's what differentiates good teams and great teams. Ones that, when they're in trouble, they can find solutions to their issues mid-game.
I do really like that APEKS have that Viper wall on B, yet the Viper is still towards A, trying to put pressure in towards like elbow, lurk into those positions. It's forcing the Cypher utility to be over there. SweetNsour,
whoa, what an absolute shot.
That's exactly what you want
I mean,
to see.
I'm not sure the overall plan was great, but I like that they at least re-cleared it pretty fast.
I'm just a little bit worried about the positioning of Tempo. That's an easy position to clear when he's in that corner.
Yeah, that was an absolute shot, man. Rotate goes in. We got early trip.
Really wants to be getting off site because I don't think APEKS are going to let up here.
No. Oh, he attempted to go for the spray for now. Goes in off the back of the
lunatic,
flash.
but he's
Ends up with a couple of kills, and Ticey's already there to fight.
Maybe there's a flash at the top and
Avova left alone this time around, and yes, we call him the clutch king of Challengers North, at least this season, but up against 4 players, that's a bit of a tall order.
30 seconds left.
And SweetNsour aren't giving him an inch. Zilch. Absolutely nothing.
Can't.
Yeah, very nice though. This is much better.
He does get an opportunity.
I still don't think the overall plan is gonna like get them too much here. But we'll see what they want to do into this round. That was more just down to just a really nice shot.
Avova could do something similar if he's given the opportunity. So smart from SweetNsour to not over panic. A good adjustment after their timeout.
First lost round since the timeout. Yeah.
Maybe they were starting to panic a little bit. Stop trying to go for the over egregious plays.
Okay, they can get reset, but it's like only one person's going to take the hit. They've got 4 ults to go up against, but they can take that. They can tank that one round.
It's also great to see SweetNsour utilizing their greatest asset in playoffs so far, Ticey. He's been probably the most influential on first kills we've seen in playoffs so far.
Oh boy.
And he might be going in for round 2. Thrash may beg to differ. Run away, Ticey. Although he does get out of trouble. APEKS showing intent towards this A site while they've got a lurk of Avova out in mid. Ticey does not care. And
oh my god, he gets so many.
Goes in for a second blast pack.
Is that a curse?
Shoots the showstopper and loses his life.
It is, but
maybe being overzealous here is where SweetNsour dropped the ball. But APEKS stabilized for a little bit. They've still got 1 minute on the clock. Creamy.
No way.
Gonna leave up the pressure.
That's nuts timing on this one.
Mosey, he goes above. And APEKS are left with 2 players. SweetNsour taking matters into their own hands.
Soulcast making a lot of noise on A, Avova on B. It's just coming down to 1v1.
The confidence, man. The holding his ground confidence. That was kind of cool. Patskew, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the 2 months. Thank you for the prime. Thank you for doing that.
Doesn't want to get comfortable in these positions, does he? It's been happening more and more. And this time, Tempo is lurking around and for the backstab. And it will be
solid.
Tempo to find
how many more do they have to win?
Of the skull of Avova.
2, I think.
Safe to say, SweetNsour are back in the game.
Yeah, with more fight. For good, for better or for worse, really. Like Ticey, the overheat, the overextend, the showstopper coming online. He really wants to make use out of it.
Yeah, but I mean, you just call a timeout here if you're...
When he goes back, into elbow and takes off by Main is more.
If you're APEKS and just
luckily you've got
they just every time we take some map control, they're just re-clearing it with numbers. And if they don't, that's where the Cypher is.
It seems now that like SweetNsour sort of setting up the breach.
I mean, that was a solid flash
towards top mids. Raze is there too. APEKS setting up for a B execute with the K ultimate.
Yeah, but we got a good KO setup. The Cypher's just on the borderline of the ult.
Does adhere to spraying, though that tripwire
does
one more
interrupt APEX's
efforts in crossing. Soulcast has been put into the ground, but can be brought back into life. But Tyson uses that opportunity to kill Mozzie,
they might be
who's
doing
trying to revive him. And APEKS down with 2 players. Accurate paint shells right into
Oh my god, yeah, this was convincing as well, man. We're close to another Raze ult.
Give SweetNsour a very sweet win.
Great round, not only just again for the confidence to go in and fight that.
And it looks like it needs to be another timeout for these guys. Need to relax a little bit. A nice setup from SNS.
That trip, it does connect onto the KO. He's ulting, so he just gets downed.
Probably need to default, do something over towards middle at the moment. It's just been straight up side heads, or at least side heads.
Nobody should be going down.
Yeah. Problem is, everyone knows that they're going to be talking about middle.
And APEKS are back into their
you could just do the same thing and just wait for them to re-clear. And then if they don't re-clear, just walk contact
3
site.
consecutive, and I think a big
got 2 options really in my mind.
For their 3 losses has been Ticey, and how unleashed he's felt.
Depending on their money,
21,
I would be tempted to go aggro if I was SNS, if it is a buy round.
240 ACS average on this map for him individually. Best on his team, goes without saying. But Kayak has been higher, but also so is Hype. And Hype on the other side is also top fragging for APEKS.
What do you think about Viper and Sunset? Viper's so fine on Sunset.
Kayak would be a new
Viper's
player.
strong.
Vova, Soulcast, and Mozzie all being tier 1 experts at this point, playing on various
Viper's
rosters.
just a strong agent, no matter what.
Often the player that's just forgotten about on this roster. In fact, he is just an underrated player throughout the history of EMEA. He was playing way back when. You've got players like Soulcast that have a lot of series under their belt. It's Hype that's played the most, 248 series. More than a player that's gone to multiple champions and gone deep into multiple tournaments. Either with Fish 1, 2,
so they decide on middle.
Liquid, with Scream before the league started.
Would something aggro have worked?
VCT itself.
Wait, are they actually doing something aggro? Maybe these two are sending it. Oh, this might work.
And Hype has played more.
Oh, okay. Got 3 people behind a smoke, 1 person with a flash. Dude, it's such a heavy commit for this. I'm not sure I like this as being their punish middle.
It's the best place to be. The grand final.
Holy hell, they're sending it.
Moving in together with Ticey. This time Ticey not so great on the first flag.
What the hell? I thought they were just going to clear this and go back. I didn't realize they were going to keep going.
Resurrect is going to...
We breach ult?
Bring back the numbers in favor of APEKS, but at least the playstyle for SweetNsour.
Good.
A lot better. Just get the kill, get in, get out. No overstaying, no over-dedicating. Now that they are in a player deficit, this is the right call. Try to gamble.
Like the 4-person push middle, though.
It's the one thing that's been consistent.
They've been doing this every single time, right? They should have been speaking about this in the timeout. Just re-clear their up control every single time.
And holding back into main. So SweetNsour,
we got
pressure where it hurts.
Oh my!
And they're going to use it straight away. The Thrash is
I
broken
mean,
by
it hits
tempo
everyone.
due to the tripwire, and all 4
now they're locked in.
Omen
Flash missed.
And with a cross, the rest of them are following suit. Avova, the only one
Avova made an absolute play.
Finds time to get right
Double
back into the
on
fight,
site
and APEKS are able to turn it all right back in their favour. Tempo left in a 1 versus 3 to salvage the day. He's got a neural theft, but APEKS have bunched up together.
Maybe went a little bit too much on that one. I mean, this guy's here. This is doable.
The pace of it, maybe not tempo. Speaking of
dude, look at the time.
1 versus 3, 10 seconds. He could stop the spike being planted here.
And they've got their knives out. It could have been a triple spray down,
bro,
but
that
not
was
quite.
Close, man.
APEKS with superior numbers.
Dude, everyone could have done better here, really. But
and my oh my, was that close?
It was all of over there. The hijinks.
Yeah, did he TP when the Omen Flash came in?
They realized the same thing. Hold on.
He Omen Flash back, right, and TP'd in?
Just going to be mincemeat in there. But I think
did he TP behind him?
Yeah, he Omen Flash back and TP behind him.
Able to get in position. Everybody was stunned, but there's no nade, there's no stun, there's no follow-up. And Avova just managing to sneak into this position. He just does enough to keep APEKS back in form and still winning after timeouts.
Also, they I felt like they breached ulted pretty early.
Such a crucial player. He's been
I got you.
so many arcs, errors.
Slime Bunny with the 17 months. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate the tier 1.
Bit of a more quiet one over in Heretics.
This is brave of Tempo to just be on site alone. He's got his Saw trap set up, but there is a KO on the other side of Soulcast who might have his knife back fairly soon. In a position that constantly gets mollied.
Dude, is this how they're gonna go down?
Yeah, Tempo's on a solo bolo journey. He allows the wingman to cross to make sure that he's not traded back. Breaks it. Not enough time to reposition onto
we done a
Kayak.
Viper before we get the plant down. No space gives them full space to go around site. I mean, how on earth APEKS gonna drop this?
But can they use it? Paranoia, that's good, but
at least
paint shields might even be better because it splits the APEKS players in 2 different fronts. Soulcast is able to hold his own.
Guys, you gotta make a better plan than this.
One bullet
the ult or
anywhere
something
on his body should do it, and Ticey's in the right position to deliver. Blast pack out, has the showstopper available, and it's used to perfection. Hype all by himself within his own little realm. He's got the spike and a dream.
This is one of those rounds where it's the Viper ult backfires so heavy.
The paint shells dropped in the right position as well.
10 seconds left.
He's walking on eggshells, and Heartbeat behind him will creep up to finish him off. 11 to 10. This map couldn't be closer.
Major trades coming in on either side. Again, SweetNsour just having a fast.
So I think Viper's in a good spot. Yeah, it's probably the best we're gonna get.
APEKS wanted to slow things down just a tad, right? Just walking up onto the
Honestly,
site.
still very strong, but
Weren't necessarily expecting a Cypher in place. But that's just one of the risks of running
you would
Gecko.
just
When your
annihilate
first
the
point of
agent in
entry
ranks.
to the sphere is the wingman going for the plan.
And at the moment, like double
kind of chaos
flash
can
meta,
ensue.
sometimes it's kind of not the best, I guess, to have double controller, but I just think the kid is crazy strong.
I mean, on maps like Icebox, he's been incredibly successful with it. The KO Knife's found him, so APEKS naturally leaning in the other direction if they can help it.
I mean, the real thing that I would change at the moment is just
to mind when it comes to Ticey and
this needs to be 8 Gecko. It's like the main thing that needs to happen at the moment.
APEKS's early presence in mid telegraphed.
Bren said right, so change Viper's ease like Harbor.
Falling further back from this beast.
Bren wants a werewolf character, man.
Got this Viper wall on B,
Not sure.
Obviously
Not sure we should listen to everything that Bren says.
Much with it, but I don't feel like APEKS are using it as much as they could do. KO Knife there to check quick and early information, but it means you don't have the KO Knife for the potential execute here on A.
Oh, Ticey, this is a brilliant angle. Can he get away? Yes, he can! And he's got reinforcement.
Yeah, I mean, the stun might have saved him.
have read APEKS like a book. They've got 4 out of 5 players nearby. APEKS need to be quick about this if they want to move away.
SweetNsour actually KO Knifed over.
It's incredible. They actually called him right.
30 seconds.
Big Joe.
To B main, so they have good information and nobody's lurking up from APEKS, and they catch him over.
Wait, this is gonna be so close. Actually going to 11-11.
In that position.
As long as this guy doesn't overstep.
North there.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Revealing them for a second time now. As Heartbeat finds another angle to work with. SweetNsour looking to play the numbers game. A retake game that we know they've been pretty damn good at during the playoffs.
Maybe.
Soulcast is looking
through
for
middle,
some
no
hero
one's
work.
expecting
We'll try
it.
to delay for Kayak to bring that hero work himself. Mosey instead is the one to delay, and Kayak is here for the surprise.
This is the round to look back at and
No
be like,
SweetNsour player
how do we
has
do
looked
this?
behind yet. I feel like they are in a world of hurt. And that hurt
He
has
can
a
just stay
name,
alive now.
and his name is Kayak. Soulcast as well to chime in.
Shout out to Mosey winning
It's
double
a
duel
team
on market.
effort by APEKS to restore order and perhaps put their team on match points on the first map of this grand final, unless Heartbeat can do anything about it. There's not much time remaining, and it's not even diffuse halfway, running out of bullets. Will seal the deal for APEKS, getting on to 12.
3-5-1 for APEKS there in the end. SweetNsour, they just backed up. They wanted to play the numbers, but they weren't really given that opportunity. That late lurk from Kayak, to have a young duelist keep their composure, to use time as wisely as they did was perfect. But it also helps when your IGL's just
I said 11-11. I mean, yeah.
Right?
But it should have been.
I mean, his job there was to turn attention towards him, right? It wasn't as much to get a kill, but Ticey was just right in the right position. Mosey's been pretty damn accurate today.
Few chances. SweetNsour having a buy at least, but not the ultimates on board just yet. And Kayak using that operator that he got from Ticey last round against him.
SweetNsour drop back after the early
2
kill
chances
against
to win the
them.
first map. Yeah, it would have been
Go to
close
plan.
as well.
And this is not the round for things
Have
to
done my
not go
pick'ems
to
yet?
plan.
No. I'll do them later today or tomorrow.
I have the spike.
I hear this is just APEKS using that win condition wisely. Like, they don't need to rush anywhere. They have the advantage. SweetNsour, the only way that they can gain information is by either just hoping that the Trip, the Cypher catches stuff, the KO Knife catches stuff, or you push it with your face.
Just group official.
And that's something that SweetNsour have been doing. It has been working. But with the pressure on them, I don't think they're going to be keen on that idea too much.
Well, they already did it this round and it didn't pay off. Dicey's in the mud. And Tempo might be in trouble. Thrash out, breaking.
I mean, he didn't manage to actually check that much.
Hype having a potential.
Yeah, they even have to knife to double check it.
There's a gap. Ooh,
Holy,
the
they
spray
got double.
might come this time from SweetNsour. The lurk is on its way though.
Should be done.
Oh, Tempo might have sneaked past.
I mean, it doesn't
But
matter.
Kayak finds a shot through the smoke. This is getting more and more difficult as time goes
What
by.
is
SweetNsour
that?
might be in trouble unless Tempo brings out some magic.
Yeah, but Hype has it secured no
But
matter what.
no longer, it seems, within the realm of possibility as APEKS has it all under control.
This is a
With
close
Hype
map,
making his
though.
way into the back line,
This
there's
was
no
real
heartbeat.
close. They
Can
gave him
focus
a-
on
they
two
gave him a good
positions
run.
simultaneously. APEKS take down map number 1 Sunset as
Yeah,
their
they're
own.
going to look back at that
It's
5v3.
undefeated so far in Polaris this year, and it's going to stay that way at 12-0. Definitely a lot of touch and go moments, but some of the timeouts that came out of Denito,
Tried to cast, dude, this is a close map.
from APEKS here on out after those timeouts came in. But you can start to see, if you haven't been watching the SweetNsour, what they can bring to the table. A lot of energy, a lot of excitement, and a lot of ways to get right under APEKS's skin. You saw Vova giving the middle finger after winning a clutch before. That's what it means. It's getting personal almost.
It is. SweetNsour are making APEKS sweat. And I can only imagine how this would be if SweetNsour ended up getting the win in the end, right? If APEKS couldn't get their morale back, couldn't adjust after SweetNsour's pretty damn good attacking side at the start. Anything could have happened. We could have been looking at SweetNsour having the first win out of this best-of-5 series. And as the desk alluded to before this game started, whenever these two teams play against each other, when one team wins a map, they tend to win the rest of them as well. So let's see what happens in the following maps. Lotus up after this.
Okay, chat. I will be right back. Usual stuff.
You will never understand what I went through. You never were a good listener. A good listener. You will never understand what you put me through. And you never be a good lover. A good lover. At first I believed I was a lucky one, but I was just fooling myself. Fooling myself. You think you can talk sense to me, like we are gonna be okay. We're not okay.
Well, SweetNsour came out of the gate swinging, but it is APEKS that take the first map 13-10, and while this was a very positive map for SweetNsour, it does put them in the awkward position of, as Ryan and Pavlos mentioned, these guys don't tend to trade maps. It's either one way or the other from what we've seen so far. Now, it's a small sample size. Let's not kid ourselves. Anything can happen. But for SNS, I think they'll be kind of sad that they weren't able to bring that one away after the first half they had.
Yeah, it's a sweet start for that map and a sour end for SweetNsour. And I'm gonna be honest, I think it was an amazing map for SweetNsour. Even though that they couldn't quite get the win, I think they did a lot of things that APEKS were really uncomfortable with. A lot of aggression from the side of SweetNsour. We saw them mid-rounding on the defensive side, 4 players stacking towards mid, going for those aggressive plays. Really put APEKS out of place with that breach. Really good stuns. Ticey, amazing pop-off. I mean, obviously on the other side we have Gajak, which, well, not a surprise that he's up there, but I think Ticey put up some really good numbers, and the entries were amazing from this guy.
Yeah, I mean, look, Ticey has just been warming up more and more as we've gone through the playoffs. I'm continually being impressed by this player. I mean, look, some teams get better during playoffs just because of they have to lock in a little further. You know, there's more pressure on them. Some players tend to fall off during playoffs a little bit because, again, pressure does weird things to you. But Ticey has turned into a diamond under pressure. I'm very excited for this player, regardless of the outcome of this match, regardless of the outcome of Ascension play-ins or whatever stage of the tournament they go to next. Because, look, we've got some amazing duelists in this league, and don't get me wrong, all the other players on SweetNsour are amazing too, but Ticey has had a bit of a highlight here. But there is another player I think you specifically wanted to highlight. We can take a look at Tempo's stats for that map and take a look at Tempo's clips here.
Yeah, I think it was really amazing from Tempo. Amazing performance in this map. I think there was even like few rounds where Tempo won that complete round by themselves. Really good performance, and I think Tempo is one of those persons that you want to highlight, especially before this upcoming map, Lotus. Amazing performance last time they played in Lotus, 41 kills. That's something that you don't really see from most of these players. Yeah. Obviously, there was multiple OTs
we need a quick-ish
to cover
map.
That
we can
those kills, but I think Tempo is definitely one
chat.
of those players that you wanna look in when we go to Lotus. That you wanted to look in when we came into this round, and I think the Cypher was really crucial for the side of SweetNsour, being able to make those plays on the other side of the map and trusting that Tempo will lock down the other side, and that's how SweetNsour were able to actually get that 6-1 lead on the defensive side.
Had to be the same time as the other. Do this. There's too much going on in the world
as well, and I think the first one we wanted to look at was round 7. So why don't you walk
games?
Why this was a defining
podcast.
Yeah, I think this was an amazing round showing the potential that SweetNsour has in terms of disrupting the APEKS's defense.
We're spoiled for choice.
I think it's a
Moosey with the 19 months. Thank you for the tier 1. Thank you. Mango Freeze as well. Mango, appreciate you, man. Thank you for the whole year. Appreciate all the gifted as well you've done. Thank you too. Moosey and Mango Freeze.
Like the pacing on APEKS's defense gets picked off on mid, but Soulcast is completely unaware where Ticey is. That's absolutely something that we don't see from APEKS from I think multiple reasons. They have really good cohesion, really strong defensive side team, and SweetNsour being able to disrupt their defenses that much that they're completely out of the
Lotus,
page.
yeah, I need a 40-minute
showing
Lotus. That's
even when we
doable,
think
surely.
about upcoming maps.
And a round that I wanted to take a look at, which I'm sure you wanted to have another look at as well, was round 20. I think especially just from both teams, this was really, really beautifully played. First off, the plan here from SweetNsour to wrap around and go for the Rolling Thunder, that's the one. Sorry, I haven't casted in a while, especially not Breach, so I completely forgot the name of the ability. Was really good. Famzam being able to run all the way around and get this one. We'll see it in a bit once they decide to go towards B on this. So as you can see, turning around towards B now. And SweetNsour, I think the reaction is absolutely perfect. They clear mid first and make sure there's absolutely no aggression towards there. And they decide, okay, well, it must be a B push. And obviously all the Cypher utilities towards there, they can see exactly when they're coming, and as APEKS are taking their time clearing their corners, this is a team with good fundamentals, as we know, so SweetNsour know that they're going to be taking a little bit of time. They send in their first ultimate, but it's shut down immediately by Tempo's utility. In goes the Rolling Thunder. Now they move
Max
on in,
payout.
But that's not
Isn't it SweetNsour's most likely map to win?
What happened there was Vova being able to during the flash, get out of dodge and pull away from there. And the reaction from Tempo, I think, was unfortunate. I think very much if he turns around that corner a little differently and he backs all the way up, he shoulder peeks that corner, he can probably delay them enough to stop
it goes
the
to
plant from
Ascension,
happening.
winner
And I
goes
think,
to
again,
Ascension.
between these two teams and between a lot of the teams that we've seen at the top, including Requiem, fine margins are such a massive importance, and APEKS has done such a good job of leaning those fine margins in their favor.
Yeah, it was a really, really tough round for SweetNsour because it was mostly perfectly played. Double aggression even in mid. It was
Lotus
amazing. Even after
Icebox
died, they were like,
chance
okay, we're comfortable enough to go mid again with 4 players. And from that, they were able to almost capitalize off of that round. But Avova was, like you said, amazing play. They're TPing past the Rolling Thunder behind the enemy lines. And Tempo couldn't quite find that 3-piece there all the way to the end, or maybe find that time that they might have been able to win the round without the spike going down. I think it was a great performance from SweetNsour.
Any challenges? I haven't watched any of it yet. Monday's the day for me.
Lotus. We haven't seen Lotus for a little while. We thought it was going to be banned out by APEKS. They don't seem to play it that often. When they do, it's very simple for them. They run that Raze, Fade, Viper, Omen, Killjoy. Very standard stuff, because I don't think they've really ever been challenged on this map. And whether that was came into consideration when they were deciding what bans to go for, I don't know, but I did expect it to be banned out by them. SweetNsour have had the option to pick it, and they took it immediately. They last played it with Lime, and they changed up their composition for that. They played a Breach instead of a Viper, but this time around, not having Lime, I'm not sure if they're going to revert back to using the Viper or not, but this is a team that is quite confident on this map. They've been to overtime so many times on this map and been able to clutch it up so many times.
Yeah, and I think one of the only times that they haven't been able to clutch it up on overtime is against APEKS. Well, that actually didn't go to overtime, but it was 2 rounds difference. So multiple times they are left with
APEKS are undefeated on the next 3 maps.
13 to 10.
I mean, yeah, they've just been farming in this.
It's APEKS. Obviously, APEKS with a really strong performance. They have played.
The NA teams. I mean, yeah, all the NA teams are
in
bangers at the moment. And it's the issue. I just don't have time.
Lime was obviously.
I'm trying to take this week chillish before champs.
Did they have that switch up in terms of the composition just because Lime was in, or did they actually want to switch into that composition already? It's probably something that is in APEK's mind as well, because with the addition of Breach, we already saw that Sunset was so much better for SweetNsour. They were able to do many aggressive pushes, many aggressive rounds with the Breach utility, the stun, fault line, Rolling Thunder. I think if they go with the Breach in this map as well, I think it's been a pick in terms of.
Been a while. I'm trying to remember. The only stuff I've been watching off stream is look at this. We actually changed comp subs.
APEKS. Whoa.
Okay. Go for a little.
Okay, so SweetNsour first off.
They go for a little curveball.
Right. Let's just touch on that for a second, and then
Cypher.
we can look at APEKS, who have changed just about everything about this composition. So they have replaced number 1. They've gone from Killjoy over to Cypher for that one. They have changed out their
Soulcast Deadlock. Yeah, just another
and
another agent
you've
to
got,
add in.
KO put in for Viper.
The KO,
So
see, the KO is like
I mean,
a little bit
deadlock is
underrated on
something
this
that we
map. I
see
feel
quite a
like
lot in NA,
it's not great,
especially,
like for obviously
in
the no
Challengers
drone,
League.
but
It's something that is really heavy.
means it's pretty
on the
hard to
defensive
check all of
side.
these
You
corners.
have that double sentinel, then you have
Steven,
KO
thank you so much,
with
man.
you
Appreciate
as
that.
well.
Thank
What
you.
Don't have that much
to know your opinion on that,
you
Steven.
have Deadlock compared to Fade, but the stopping power is amazing, and right now you want
the
to
Cypher Cam substitute for drones.
I think that's
Yeah,
a perfect
it's
pick against him.
the foot vibe.
Yeah, I
for
mean,
sure.
this is absolutely wild. It's been about a month now since APEKS have played Lotus. They've completely changed up their composition. Let's see if it will bring results against SweetNsour. Pavlos, Ryan, take it away.
I was pretty damn happy about how this grand final has been going, but I don't mind a bit of extra spice here, Ryan. We got different compositions, different ideas, and there's no way on earth SweetNsour could have read this.
Soulcast, yeah. I mean, he's just a grinder, man. Just give him any kind of, agent, give him some time.
It's actually APEKS, the
He's always trying to improve.
Organization. But they're all on boot camp, and Soulcast, he's locking in agent number 16 of his flex pool. And this is somebody that's never played Cypher
Agent number 16
in an official. So
he made him play a lot back in the day.
Player. Gives a bit of a question mark for SweetNsour to deal with this, not only because it's a change in the comp for APEKS, but I don't think anybody else in the world has played this comp. A lot of teams are running Deadlock, like the desk said, but it's usually with a Fade. A solo
no one plays the KO.
Definitely concerns me.
I have to say, I think it could be okay.
Like we said on Sunset. So it feels like APEKS are going to be the ones lacking information.
Okay, when's my out?
Be hoping that they can stop this double initiator setup.
Is this map going to be done in 35 minutes?
Maybe. For space
Probably not.
Just as aggressively as they did on Sunset.
Well, if you have just joined in, this is the grand final of Challengers North. This basically dictates who will be making it into Ascension or will be making it just into the play-ins, but they have to play against the rest of the second place teams of the Challenger Leagues of EMEA.
Picking the right side on this one.
Are starting off on
like
the
this pistol.
side.
I mean, this pistol against Viper is just so strong. Full person contact.
Of course, they'll be aggressing as the
when you
defenders.
got good off the
do.
plant like this, I think it is the one. Wait, they tapped with the spike and then they wanted to go A? Wait, what was this? Of course,
it's dicey to open things up early, but couldn't get away from the Gravnet, which Avova uses to trade. Spike going down onto the B site, but SweetNsour's approach is very split.
They were trying to wrap in behind, but that was disrupted by
Dude,
APEKS.
I like this though. We got priority of the right position from APEKS.
Going to buy a little bit of space for Famzam and Happy to take these engagements, but Tempo's finding some damage, but APEKS is finding a lot of time and a double for
nice
Kayak.
double on Saint.
It's a brilliant hold by Kayak.
This was a much better off the plan than I see a lot of tier 1 teams doing.
Giving their best to work
I'm not sure what the original plan was, though.
The swiveling wasn't quite enough there.
Like, the original plan looked like they wanted to tap and then go to A, even though they only had a main control. I mean, it could have worked, but the Cypher was already rotating back.
Two so far out of
the after plan was cool, though. Right, they just created a bit of pressure over towards Hobbit and then just left, and then everyone held over towards like the main pos, which is
going to be on the defense. You know, like having the Cypher and the Deadlock set up around the map is good, but it just
and
makes
the actual priority was cool. They also cleared Heaven, so they didn't have to worry about Heaven.
As it is most times, makes them almost impossible.
Hey, that was a much better after plan than most teams I've watched this year.
All of that
just because everyone prioritizes here instead of here, but they always plant like one of these positions where you have to swing out wide.
Early to try and bait APEKS and using the utility sort of counteractively.
APEKS have been good at that on various maps, like Haven. They could just hold a very deep default like this. You basically send to SweetNsour, you need to stop us. And anytime the SweetNsour are going to try and be aggressive, granted they're on an eco here, but if SweetNsour say, for example, 3 people push A main, APEKS will just pick up the spike and head towards C.
He's got a classic.
Caveat out on C.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get checked.
Behind the box at the end.
I don't know, man. The Rays kind of half cleared it, went to like here.
No.
To clear it.
Kayak's gonna do
won't be heading in that direction. Yeah, Kayak is just waiting for it. No,
maybe saw something on the crouch.
Places bullets directly into Tempo's chest. Now that's a good fault line. Could have done some damage. But it doesn't end up.
Oh, this wall as well. You're
helping.
just locked in. It's not even in waterfall. It's past waterfall.
It's so hard to cross.
Right there.
And APEKS have already gotten the spike down, and they've got all of their players still alive. SweetNsour grouping up together through waterfall. There's 3 players. Molzy avoiding the seas, so it allows them to get into cover. Famzam leading the charge, but it seems they're all dropping like flies. APEKS have got it all covered, but Creamy wants to beg for a couple more kills here, but just will do with the 2 he's gathered. And APEKS surviving with 3, saving the rifles they bought into.
Yeah, farming up some good ultimates on the attacking side.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they got like the right kills and the right people.
Close to his annihilation, which feels to me the most out of place ultimate name out of all of them. But
are you sure? Is the not dead yet even out of place?
Yeah, but that at least makes sense.
Or for the from the shadows. You don't use phrases for ability names, Ryan.
Yeah, from the shadows.
I don't know. Annihilation feels like an ability name like any other. You know.
Annihilation to my ears every time I get like cocooned and somebody has to break it.
You said annihilation, so yeah, I'll let you judge that.
Okay, Dom kind of close to us all.
For now, SweetNsour have got their guns.
Yeah, and this seems to be what they do on their bonus. Just go a little bit faster in this one. Who picked up this orb? Molsey.
Even now, it's just forcing so much utility out of SweetNsour. Like the smokes, the cage, the stun to go across. All APEKS need to do is just a little bit of a pivot towards B.
Yeah, this is nice.
There's no stun to stop it now. You can have
a
flash. Who's going to peek?
Down here as well.
And even if he does
yeah,
now,
do we heavy prioritize the right positions in after plan? And we got the double stun into these positions? Bro, this is done.
Push and Famzan and Ticey in their attempt to cross into Hotbed Door doesn't quite work out.
Guys, don't all play on site though.
SweetNsour left with 3. Difficult position for Hype to be in. At least he's got friends. Heartbeat is in an even more difficult position. Tempo single-handedly taking the charge and making it all work. Has found 4 and might even go for the ACS stun. Doesn't quite find
really nice round from this guy. Okay, I was praising APEKS, but honestly, they didn't display this many people off site. They should have literally just had like 2 people here, or at least 1 person here to play like an off-plan position and actually have some angles to play off of. Dude, nice shots from this guy.
Really
yeah, he kind of saved them here because this should have been done.
Was
this 3v5 at its peak with trips down?
Why? But that's still a bonus for APEKS. That was a non-dedicated round, all things considered. And maybe if APEKS were just a little bit tighter, they wouldn't have allowed that to happen.
I guess they didn't have original B control, but...
I mean, Tempo basically saved the day for SweetNsour. I think APEKS were very close to having a flawless 3-0 start.
A lot of people died on this, so it's just a big round.
There's only 3 maps that APEKS have dropped this year total. Only 1 of them is in this veto because it was Breeze, it was Bind, which was banned out by APEKS, and Icebox. And Icebox is the 4th map. We might not even see it.
Sure. It's Haven next, and I think Abyss follows. Yeah, Icebox last. APEKS will look to make this quick, but it's not all over till it's over. SweetNsour picked this one for a reason. I don't think they expected the caveat from APEKS to change up their comp so much.
They just fully left C.
Oh, Ticey and Creamy though are the ones to regret.
It's like a late A punish.
In classic SweetNsour fashion, things become quite uncomfortable very quickly.
Yeah, now they want to run back here, but we got the Omen that's going to lock them down. Dude, this is one of the weirdest rounds I've ever seen.
Happy to oblige taking them too. It's Heartbeat's position here that might be the interesting factor, because you have the Cypher that's wrapped all the way around, that's going towards the defender spawn. It's just whether Heartbeat can get in.
Bro, can't even peek because he's got a judge.
And he's not in the right position to deal with Mose. He draws out the classic things better of going for the judge instead. Avova, though, tries to hold down Creamy, successful in doing so. Tempo, though, could be red. Unless he isn't careful, and I'm afraid there's no way SweetNsour can read this on time. Hype's position is perfect, and the timing of it even better.
It's one of the weirdest rounds. If you kind of look at it, though, these 2 really overstepped.
Money was already bad for SweetNsour, right?
It was fine. Like they got actually a double kill fast 3v5. They lose. I mean, they win a 3v5. They lose a 3v5.
Even Sunset now.
Yeah, after these.
Just how
that guy needs to relax, or at least that guy doesn't need to relax, and the other guy needs to relax.
It's like, I'm just
someone's got to relax at one point.
I'm going to be really aggressive.
Someone's got to play the numbers at one point.
Because they're not going to expect me in a player disadvantage to be playing here. This time he got Hype. He could have like stuck the knife in a lot earlier to flank, but instead
you're going to relax, yeah. As long as someone's relaxing, it's all good.
Securely, he confirms the round for them nice and easy.
Wow, my eyes are down.
Part of SweetNsour's MO seems to be getting the timing on their opponents, but is it really something you can rely on, especially against a team like APEKS? That's the question in my mind.
The only team that's actually beaten APEKS in a series, so I feel like APEKS, yeah, making sure that their prep is as solid as it can be. Kayak wanting to make the showstopper work a little bit more, and he gets onto tempo. It's just Ticey with the one gun here.
And knowing how good some of these SweetNsour players are on the pistols, APEKS are not taking any prisoners here. And Ticey's found himself a Guardian to work with, but with a lot thrown at him, he might not be alive for long. Still, able to find himself to the back of the site.
It's so scary.
Cocoon sent out. Creamy finds a headshot. No, it doesn't. And Molesy is left in a 1v2, which he can't
These guys
do
were
anything
so
about.
low
SweetNsour
HP over
with a
towards here the
50.
whole time. It felt like they didn't know what they wanted to do.
They just absolutely made out like bandits. And this was the first map, really, like SweetNsour right at the start of the year. They played up against Metaspot. A lot of people, including the Kings of the North, Hazankara, had pretty much Metaspot winning that series, but it was Lotus the first time.
I mean, this is still it. If they can keep getting these kind of rounds, then sure, they've got a pretty good half. Force them down to eco. APEKS there really needed to make some kind of decision. Like, normally teams are prioritizing like at least one over towards here. That really would have helped.
Goddamn.
What is that shot?
I think we're in for a show. I don't know where that shot came from. It seems like someone overpeaked out in C and Kayak collected it. Not too bad. The opening they're required to just move into C. But Creamy's here already, and he's got a Rolling Thunder. And I see Ticey with a showstopper.
So fine to put ults into this one, keep the money good.
You know exactly where it's going to be coming from now because of that Cypher ultimate from
double up them.
At least the deadlock wall is broken, so they can actually split and execute out on site. The showstopper's going to get him over.
Nice nade as well.
Even wait for the Rolling
Damn,
Thunder.
bro, can go.
Fight to take everybody down. Waits for no one.
Yeah, he literally waited for no one. He's not wrong.
Into doable ways, but no.
Dude, no one's got any chill on this server. It's crazy.
Is on flames.
And that was with APEKS having to get the first kill.
That was nice though. He showed good discipline as well with like the ult here, and then the nade was really nice.
How quick SweetNsour would just
make sure they can't push through the smoke, so they can just focus on the guy in theory back to site.
Because they're deadlock walling over towards Waterfall, that's nothing to worry about. But not only is SweetNsour managing to sneak by it in some cases, like breaking some of the corners.
Did a good shot here as well.
They broke it so quickly. Look how quickly these players from Waterfall actually just crunch in to give hell. It's a great retake. But it's another round actually where APEKS aren't able to plant the spike on the site.
It's like you said, Ryan. They knew what they had to do against
the site
this
fast again.
This double Sentinel comp. Don't let them plant.
Okay, they got good cages to retake though.
That literally.
As long as this guy doesn't overstep.
A luck play from Hype as the rest of the team focuses on
Snowy
C.
Val, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the 14 months. Thank you, thank you.
To back off. And APEKS are going aggressive themselves, and it pays dividends. Early kill for Kayak. Rolling Thunder ready, not used just yet.
Obvious considering going a little bit deeper as well, but ups against it. The one way's good enough. He dodges the flash. Sorry, the stun actually from the breach, but not the Rolling Thunder.
Avova's able to get out into safety, even though he got stunned up, knocked up to the ground. And APEKS group up together, all 5 players out on mound. SweetNsour are tasked to defuse this spike. Uh-oh, this is going to get messy. Nightfall thrown in.
The
Prowlers
Cypher
will follow short after. Paint shells as well. And Ticey puts everyone to bed with a blanket and
oh my god, fade ult minus 80 AoE into a raise nade triple.
Everything's been
how they managed that one? I mean, it was solid. Was there a tether in here as well that I missed, or is this just a straight up?
Perhaps like just vulnerable and everybody down. But even with the deadlock, even with the Cypher,
Tether with the fade ult, put him down to 1.
Just can't get these post plants to work over on that site.
There's the ult.
The Nightfall does so much, and
no, it's not, man. It's just the ult. Wow. They're all just sitting in the same place.
Hide behind mound, and it's placed perfectly.
Oh my god, that was sick.
I can't blame them for smiling after that one. That was gorgeous, and one for the highlight reels, one for the ages.
Jesus,
and one which allows SweetNsour to gain the lead.
Dude, imagine living the life of that guy that was in chat. That's crazy. A sad life to lead.
And even now, like with the tempo switching in their favor, the namesake is just fight. He's Cypher. Why is he fighting that? There's no need, but it still works because he gets.
Holy hell, bro! What is going on?
Tempo! You're an absolute madman.
They are pulling out a lot of mad stuff at the moment. Tempo's had double hero rounds. They ecoed them, and then they had the sick combo.
He's off his rocker. Soulcast is able to find some space, and in these cases, Apex sometimes can throw some curveballs to stun. Narrowly missing Creamy. He doesn't need to fight this, so he doesn't.
Goodness me. Well, so this is anyone's game. 30 seconds. Good flash to keep Soulcast back. And Soulcast, at least taking one down with him. Mosey's able to square it down to a duel. Creamy. No, you don't expect Mosey to walk.
He's owned it, though. Yeah, because what kind of a madman would walk through their own nade?
Smart by Mosey. His brain is massive.
Oh.
It's been cleared though, still.
Oh, but
Bro's checking it.
2
bullets, he gets stunned. Oh my god.
And it's Mosey's demise.
The damage was off.
What? Mosey?
Doesn't matter.
He escapes the aftershock.
That's crazy.
But
Bro
the
actually
final
checked
bullets.
that.
God. Oh, they made
It's
us sweat
insane.
that round.
Jay,
I
thank you
just
so
thought
much.
then
Or
Palmer
Jai.
was gonna
No,
win
that must
out.
be Jay, right? Thank you for the 5
Nice
gifted, bro.
clutch for
Let's get
Creamy,
the
and
slug
this is a map
boiler
that he's
spam
been
going. Thank you
absurdly
for that.
strong on.
Appreciate the
Usually,
5.
I think mostly over
Thanks
on
so
the
much for
paint
doing
ball,
that,
so he's
bro.
had to switch
Your
across.
first gifted as well, man. I appreciate the support.
But there, it was a 4v2 in favor of SweetNsour.
SweetNsour, bro, they're pulling out some big rounds right now.
Acrobatics from Ticey.
Thank you so much, Jay.
And
Appreciate you
it
doing
almost
that.
fell apart, kind of like it did on Sunset.
Jay_999.
And Apex forced to an eco, and no timeout just yet.
That's 4 consecutive for SweetNsour. And safe to say that Apex are shaking where they stand.
That net.
It's a good net, but do they have the guns to follow it up? Phantom found himself an Odin.
Oh my god, who is that
Dicey wants to go
lunatic?
in with a showstopper, because why the hell not? Because he can. The only 2 kills Apex have found are off the back of Kayak's martial shots.
Right like this,
How many
actually.
more?
Hype has opened the door over towards C, and it's just pulled the attention. It's allowed Kayak to pick up the spike. And Hype is offering himself up as bait here.
Yeah, well, call this over. Unless Kayak somehow puts a showstopper on
Absolute
3.
shot, though.
Beautiful shot onto Creamy.
That is an
At least
absolute
keeps
shot.
Things
And they're running
damaging
away with it.
for
Yeah.
SweetNsour. Keep the economy in check.
Look at the money, like Pam 650 credits there. You want to maybe get Ticey the operator. It's just not really an option at this point yet. But Apex taking the timeout now. This is a bit of a interesting one too. They changed the comp to something new and fresh. In a year where Apex started being creative, playing stuff like Yoru on Icebox and Sunset, but eventually
Chat,
settled
famous.
into not necessarily the most meta
This game for
ideas,
Ascension,
we
yeah.
saw them play the old Paper X comp on Sunset, but
Sure.
more defined set plays and bugs of certain comps. Here, like I said, I don't think anybody
Mojito, thank you so much for the 4 months. Thank you for doing that. Appreciate the prime.
With the deadlock. Whether that's comfort or whether that's something that Apex feel that they can get a lot of success out of. Now they're going to be like, okay, so what do we do when it's not working? On a comp where the post
Which placement number in my top 15 is the most surprising?
SweetNsour are not falling for it.
Like 9, I think. I think my number 9 is pretty surprising. Is 9 or 8? I can't remember which that I have. I was, do you know, it took me so long to do my top 15
Oh, this is starting
because it's
to
just
get
like
quite
anyone
exciting.
should be on there.
SweetNsour were in the
There's
lead
actually
on
like
Sunset
25
before. They
names
had
that
a
should all be in
6-1
the
start
top
for
10
anybody that has
probably.
just joined.
It's a nightmare to do.
But Apex did close out that half 6-6.
The talent, yeah, it's outrageous.
Things look a little bit closer this time around, but SweetNsour
Brenda's 2 crazy
are
things.
still on the street.
I only really
Apex
have like
yet
one
to shut
crazy
them
thing.
down.
And maybe you don't have a couple of people that should be in there, but it's not like, I wouldn't say it's wild crazy.
The noise from Apex just
Devi?
pulling that rotation over.
I have Devi higher than anyone else will probably.
Just one Prowler left, which is going to be used to clear some of these close positions. Halfbeat playing by the door, might want to try and get more. Apex, again, these defaults are usually very passive, very safe at the beginning of rounds. Now it's the full dedicate over towards A. But there's 4 people here ready to deal with it from SweetNsour.
Heartbeat avoiding the
Where on
dagger,
earth do
able to
they
use
go?
his
They don't
paranoia
have a
in
backup
response, but
plan
gets
of
hit
anyone
by
over
one
towards B.
himself.
They're just going to try
Still,
force
Apex
in.
are looking to amp up the pressure.
Oh, that's
Got
cool.
him.
Yeah, Halfbeat's caught. but it doesn't mean there is a trade in play. By the end of this fight, APEKS are coming out on top, 2-1 in kills, but Creamy is still to the back of sight. He might be in trouble unless SweetNsour can help out. Paint shells, as well as Ticey's positioning, assists in Molzy's death. APEKS still ahead. Bunched up together in one angle. Ticey, he's good on the one-on-ones, but what can he do against more?
Oh my goodness, I thought he was going to somehow win that, and the other guy was on 1 HP.
He was at high.
6 on defense is still outrageous right now. They're doing great.
HP, so it's definitely doable. Really nice little play from APEKS there. They open the door. Volva's the paranoia. Naturally, the
watch until the end. I mean, I gotta go in like 20 minutes, basically.
That's exactly where that annihilation.
I'm probably gonna miss a little bit at the end here. Generic Joe with the Prime. Thank you so much for the 15 months. Thank you for doing that.
Good work. It's just like you have a lot of these like secure plays for APEKS to confirm rounds for them. It's again another win after a timeout. Just in the nick of time. It might be a 6-all finish again. SweetNsour need to win this round. Look at their money. They wouldn't have anything for round 12. Don't really have much now. Happy is on another judge.
Yeah, so this, I mean, this should have been happening. I'm really. Especially do they always play their...
things down a bit.
I mean, they changed their setup heavily, right?
Just so when they do go for the
big punish,
fights,
camera, into Omen Flash.
Bit of condition maybe, but that Prowler doesn't catch anyone. And Famzam.
Dude, honestly, getting hit by that's good though.
APEKS react by dropping back, going towards A instead.
Just the up, just sitting nicely.
And this is gonna be, oh my goodness, it's gonna be pivot into B, right?
No, pot shot. Just rotating away, trying to adjust to a different angle.
They're going into B.
And Ticey's disrespected the
doubling up. Ticey does position accordingly, but that smoke is not easy to deal with. Showstopper won't be going after anyone unless anyone is spotted.
Yeah, and as we've seen, this B after one's really good. Do they put people? That's
Showstopper doesn't find its mark, but Ticey is unable to find any corner to work with here. Everyone is coming out
the
in front
fade
of
goes mental.
That was a flash.
What an absolute
flash as well. Nets into the ground. And little by little, APEKS are chipping away at SweetNsour's defenses.
That after plan is so strong.
And around this B site. SweetNsour start to drop like flies, and Creamy is the final one to get splat into the ground. As APEKS slows up the gap near entirely. 1 round to equalize and 1 round in the half.
Crazy moment.
Movie guy, have I watched Deadpool movie? Nah, I'll watch it though.
Any kills over from Kayak,
maybe next week at one point.
APEKS now starting to settle in very nicely.
Yeah,
the buy is
pretty much nothing behind it.
Whatever you can grab for SweetNsour.
Is that my pick'ems? Not.
There's an operator for Molzy. APEKS again cleaning up the rest of the half after they take a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big win though. They can set one up over towards there.
Want to see what they can do against potential double operator towards A.
Not an easy scenario. This time Harpy posted up very aggressively, but of course
at least you're raising, you can get out of it. That was a nice
position
shot.
Instead of the stinger.
At least the confidence is there.
There.
And again, APEKS off to a good start. Famzam actually very far forwards. He's got the help of Creamy, but it's a sense of desperation that they need to bring their team right back into equilibrium. Instead, with APEKS making a hell of a lot of noise, they
gonna make sure you don't overstep with this fatal.
First, then you're off there to find its mark. They've got all the information they need to move into A.
A good neural prep to get that information. The Omen ultimate throw it into a nice pocket of space, and these like mid-round adjustments for APEKS towards A have been near impossible for SweetNsour to deal with.
Good stun to stop Vova from doing a lot of damage there, but he throws down a paranoia himself, which avoids and disperses the SweetNsour fast push. Vova does get right back on top, but still, SweetNsour struggling
look
to
how
find
hard these
the
retakes
answers.
are. I like this. I like the double sentinel comp. It's cool. It's basically just the same approach as like what This is what the guard were doing with the Viper stuff, where you just get over towards the site and the deadlock's alive. As long as you have good post-plant positions, you're going to win. And then on a free site map, it makes a lot of sense.
Tempo, but really good team strats from SweetNsour, but APEKS, I think they sort of realized that, okay, we can't really go see.
Being corrupted, yeah, a little bit. It looks good. It just looks hard to play against. Like the thing is, and when people are moving away from the Viper comp, where like it helps fighting a little bit of like A and B, it just works so well at the moment. Teams will probably lean back into the Viper comp, where you can actually like hold the sites and delay better, because these whole comps that can't really delay, this means that you're giving up sites and you're playing retake. But then how are you meant to retake against a trip here and a trip here, and you're dueling people in these areas once you commit it?
It's got to be a little bit comforting for APEKS,
you gotta fight side
being in this position, like you said, double Sentinel.
I like it. Yeah, it's just the same thought process as the VIP comp from
early. Instead, it's SweetNsour,
just with a deadlock. The only reason those comps work so well is because it's free site maps, so you're kind of always, in theory, on the defense having to play retake on one of these.
Does that hinder him enough for this
or at least playing to leave the site. And honestly, when everyone's meta at the moment is just to play retake and leave sites, it's cool.
The SweetNsour trade out the fights and waterfall.
SweetNsour move
no
in
way
like
he gets
a
away with that.
As a unit, they will fall. Creamy alone against the 3. At least Hyper's low, but no heads are found. And APEKS win their second pistol of this map.
Like, it's kind of the thing keeping them in this.
Hype low, Molsey low. But APEKS getting, you can tell that they're starting to get the read of SweetNsour. A good amount of experience. You're tripping towards CT. You know that they are going to continue to push. They're looking for fights. You're just going to make sure that it cannot go their way. It's a team that just has to rely on snowballing and opening
the game been like? Not too bad.
And starts to lose their composure. But this is APEKS we're talking about.
Yeah.
Close maps at least.
I mean,
well,
a lot
first
of
map
people
is
said
close.
maybe
This one's looking
SweetNsour
close.
are the kryptonite of APEKS, right? They're the only ones that got a win off of them in the regular season. Either way, APEKS showing that they can learn and find the antidote. Let's see how clean they can make this. No Vandals invested, no Phantoms, just Bulldogs around.
APEKS haven't dropped the map since, actually. They lost that series to SweetNsour, right? It's just that one map to Formulation Gaming beforehand.
I think so. That could have been their final wake-up call, you know?
Better to take that loss now than, say, a couple of months' time.
That's very true. You've got to be at peak form in games like this, like Ascension. The Org knows it all too well, getting into the finals of Ascension last time and not quite making it work against a team they beat that season.
Guess the saving grace for APEKS this time around is it's same Org but a completely different team.
Kind of nice in defense as well.
The coach Danita, who was the assistant coach last year, and the assistant coach now Desmu, who's the analyst last year, have stayed. Everybody
He's reactively saving util every single time. Pretty cool.
But no less in pedigree, I'd say. Good crossfire here for APEKS to just hold down.
Hey Tansy, hello, how is that?
From SweetNsour.
I do YouTube titles myself. Wait, what have I done on YouTube?
Much at all.
Grand finals, not the upper finals.
Into what seems to be the Lion's Den. Smoke fades, and his life has been sealed.
We have Des on the call. He's on the call on Monday.
APEKS. Like we said, they seem to
locked in for Monday.
Get some good economy going. Something I don't think they were quite able to do on the previous map. Wasn't as comfortable.
Until they got onto
the util stun their deadlock. I'm pretty sure they broke it.
The same here. SweetNsour. It's tricky to just find space when you've got 2 Sentinels full stop, but also 2 Sentinels that have global utility. They don't need to stay in range like Killjoy. You can have the Cypher and the Deadlock.
Two people that can get one shot.
Play towards A.
They're gonna avoid it for the beginning. I like this knife. Is this knife just on the floor here? So it can't be shot no matter what.
To work with.
Tempo's stuck onto that right-hand side of a map, whilst
they reactively just push for this guy.
On a mission, they've realised Tempo is nearby.
He did great to get one though.
Still gets one.
They insta-react. They saw 2 people here. You would imagine it's a 1-1.
That could make them dangerous on the retake. Avova chooses to stick by. So does Hype. Is this their demise? Is this the mistake still? Avova gets one. Can't TP away in time. So SweetNsour have got the advantage for now. Kayak not going to leave the pressure away though. that shot connect?
No,
it felt like
it wasn't
did.
too far away though.
No.
Dedicated satchels to just get on the angle as quickly as possible.
They really don't like letting APEKS get comfortable.
It's the two people light on the left, though.
They're the annoying little brother, doesn't let anybody sleep.
At the stun, aftershocks.
Oh my, well.
He would have loved to connect some of those shots, but this spray down that can come through from APEKS out in Mound is just too much.
Might die to the spike here.
Yeah, seems to be the case. Going for the chase.
Okay, they at least did good damage. Armory by 3, so we could see a big round.
And SweetNsour win.
Gonna be
Trying
close.
to get it off the board, but the play from APEKS was really nice. That you have the Grav Net, the Raise Nade, and the KO Molly all clearing out towards this position. It forces Tempo to take the fight. Not bad when you're on a bonus and you just want to upset some pressure. That's the one weakness with lots of teams, including the two here, moving away from Viper a bit. It means that you do lack a bit of that A pressure consistently. That's why APEKS are just doing it as a team. The Wolves
There's a big round where everyone goes down to eco, and
yeah, if Tempo tries to push A main alone,
both one away from the Raise ult, so everyone fights heavy for C.
This time.
I mean, these guys should back off and just get all for all, right?
Playbook. Taking a page, rather. Putting pressure at the start.
Okay, now we get both teams with the Raise ult.
Are adapting by putting all of their efforts, or most of them at least, towards this A site. But the spike is sticking by
where's
the
the
C, which
where's the Raise sending
that
it?
they may
This orb not here?
by their initial decision. This is all a rouge.
Yeah, it's scary. Like, this might be overcooking it a little bit.
Wow.
Soulcast taking the timing. The retake is pretty much good to go, but Evolver hasn't rotated off yet. But now the players are going back towards A.
They are, and by the time they get there, they will have no longer
That to be a big buy round.
because APEKS
Yeah,
have
the
completely
orb's there,
taken
man.
over.
They messed up so
The
heavy.
adaptation is to move into B, but the spray down is simple from APEKS. And no survivors for SweetNsour. No damage taken by APEKS either. This was as easy as any round we've seen so far.
Now it's starting to feel a little bit more one-sided. Some of these rounds, a couple of flawlesses now for APEKS on this map. I don't think there was any on Sunset. But this is like the best chance for SweetNsour to really do some damage. But I think just this deadlock curveball was enough.
There's a couple of people that should be vocal there. Read the Cypher with the full info on the camera here, hearing that no one's taking the orb. The Cypher can literally be like, well, they haven't got the orb here, it's still available. And the Raze should be like, I want to take this orb, but on my ult.
The call to pretty much dedicate
and maybe the call of it being a big round wasn't there as well, because
APEKS are not the kind of team to push C.
Wasn't enough emphasis on actually getting the ults.
Towards A and then push C more to try and flank
Still
around. They were
curve,
trying to punish Evolver to push and take more space. And Evolver, he just knew that because that rotation came in so thick and fast for his team towards A, all he needs to do is to hold. Nice to see at least that APEKS's playbook on this map is fairly deep, with aggression towards A.
Going to this dude, it's pointless. I'm going to plat chat in 10 minutes.
In some elements from some nice stuff that SweetNsour were doing. But I think the calling the little mid round in, the pace that APEKS play at, full testament to Malsey to come into that IGL role for the first time realistically, put on such a good performance in a game like this.
He's definitely done a splendid job pairing up together with Danito.
Bring him with me on plat
Not
chat,
too bad. SweetNsour though, they're the ones on the hot seat. They're the ones that had trouble reacting to APEKS's proactivity.
Dude, honestly, that's probably the play for plat chat. Just get him to leak everything.
After that timeout to bring things back. As
there's a couple of people that are ready to leak everything at the moment.
There likely will be 3 rounds afar from APEKS.
No way he gets that.
Tempo does connect the shot there. Are they really on site to get the spike down? They are. They've got plenty of space here. APEKS allow them. But APEKS have also taken up a lot of room from every single entry. And found some, he hasn't shown his ground just yet. He will now. And APEKS will be fully aware. A couple of things found, but on 2 different people, which means that both of them will be staying alive. And the lead is extended even further, but double digits hit by APEKS.
Nice work. A lot of like space given up with SweetNsour being on the eco, Just APEKS almost using it as a chance to try out taking that.
Was Ryan Central the ultimate frisbee player, or or are you mixing up your casting talent? You're mixing up your casting talent. You're thinking of Dust Marat.
Crunch into that spot and SweetNsour, just not having a weapon that round.
Dude, those videos are good, man.
Now, Showstopper.
There's a Richard Lewis video on it, which is so funny, bro.
Scary as it needs to be for SweetNsour. Especially now the Soulcast has the Annihilation too, and being in good spots, or at least a good plans around them. It looks like APEKS are going to go for the similar play here to just try and rat out where Tempo is playing from.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I mean, with Tyson going with the
All
judge.
to cancel. At least they got the space.
Showstopper's out.
Yeah, we got no plant on this one. We got someone holding over towards A. He sees this. Does he spam it early? Doesn't spam it early. He just leaves it.
A lot in their arsenal. The SweetNsour have got all 5 players.
Dude, if that's a save ball, this guy spams it early.
And it's Soulcast this time around to open up this side wide open, with the rest of the team following suit. This is very well timed.
Nicely done. Yeah, this guy's got to spam that early, man. He's got to create some kind of pressure here. And call his team that they're going to go fast.
Did not know where that came from.
Yeah, I was just using
it's a shame, man.
The Showstopper.
A couple of rounds there, just like really letting him down.
The site from in secret.
All
Annihilation
decisions.
in the hands of Soulcast, not needed. But the utility, you have so many people.
APEKS's deadlock is really good, yeah.
Now back at Fnatic saying that Flash isn't great on this map. That's why the fade is so good in that solo initiator. But here, Molsey's like, nope, flashes are good. Whether they're right clicks through little like cubby holes that you can just yeet them through, like he did just then from Secret. Like watching Foot last year.
Come on, let's go.
And it just works. They make it work. Hasn't been the cleanest of starts.
Champs Pickham video, I haven't done it yet. Probably tomorrow. Tomorrow, tonight, one of these.
They're pushing down mid, but APEKS on the same time are trying to take extremity control.
Another one in you.
Tempo is disallowing it.
Yep, Molsey's out. Oh, Moy's in. He's actually going to try and fight this execute.
They're not going to lose this round. Look at this. It's absolute chaos. Poor Observer.
Well, he's kept things doable, fathomable. And the SweetNsour repositioning towards A. There's a good position by Heartbeat to shut down Avova. If he decides to cross, that Prowler will reveal him.
Oh no,
Paranoia won't do.
Oh boy, he can just go over towards the side, they can double up. And Hype got the kill, and he found out where he is.
And put APEKS in pole.
Goes close.
And Famzam now is in trouble. He will try and spray, and he's not very accurate with it because Avova.
Whoa, you gotta shoot that, my guy.
To the right. Oh, he might just make it work. Oh
no, man. Dude, that was close, though. Ah, bro, they got no chill sometimes.
But just isn't. And APEKS are close.
We've been saying it the whole game. They just need that little bit of chill.
Avova actually played that really well. Pressured situation.
Oh, I don't know, man. He's got to shoot that horn. I think he's lucky to be alive. I think he messed up.
Playing around this smoke, you could probably say that was similar to Sunset, right? 3v5.
Yeah, they've had a couple of these.
Won in the end by APEKS. But here it was a 3 versus 2. All of the players from SweetNsour were able to pick up gun upgrades, and they're just going for that fight towards
Indonesian VCT Challenger final. I don't have WatchParty ranks.
Just a quick adaptation, even the ultimate used from Avova to just TP onto site very quickly.
Goodness. Okay, 5 chances. Honestly,
it could be.
I mean, pretty good.
Only 5 chances for them to get right back into it, but it's a long way to go. A mountain to climb, and Kayak is not making things simple.
It's another nade as well. Oh my god, this guy's spamming him from heaven. This was a lot closer than the score suggests.
He's the MVP of
Split just a couple of mistakes really letting him down. Like that big round here where they didn't get the Razor is criminal.
Lotus. Being in charge, being in the lead, 2-0 in the grand
okay, chat. What are we doing? Raid in the mainstream?
Because
I gotta go do plat chat.
First.
Now they're starting to pick up steam.
Is Ardis actually WatchPartying it? Because we could do it for Ardis. But I don't know if has he actually got rights to do it, yeah?
Early on in this year. They're not afraid to come out with some nice, clever ideas, pushed in some elements, but mostly from nice, shining.
Has he though? Okay, we'll raid him.
From SweetNsour. It's just Tempo with 227 ACS, with 3 other players, including Soulcast's debut on the Deadlock.
Well, he's doing it no matter what.
Okay. It was a good showing, and you know, if we do see APEKS make an ascension, which they're 1 map win away from now, how much they can cook up
we'll raid Ardis.
a good amount of time.
Tell him to watch it all the way to the end. And then if he goes offline, get him to raid the main channel. Okay, that's all you guys got to do.
Of a reverse sweep, they'll have a month to prepare for Ascension. So who knows?
Everyone. I'll see you all in a little bit. I'll see you on Twitch if you're going to watch it or enjoy the rest of the game set.
Let's see if they actually can do so. Be right
Alright,
back.
peace. YouTube as well. I'll see you guys in a little bit.